On a hidden luxury yacht that never docks in the same port twice, there is a woman we'll simply call the analyst. She is not a spy, she is not a government agent, she is a data analyst. The analyst specializes in one thing, the Chinese gold market. For years, she has been tracking a specific anomaly. She looks at the official export numbers from the West, the gold leaving London and Switzerland. Then she looks at the official import numbers from China. And then she looks at a third number, the physical withdrawals from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. And every time she runs the math, the numbers tell a story that the official reports ignore. The official story says the Chinese central bank has about 2,200 tons of gold. But her data tells a different story. It shows a relentless mechanical vacuum cleaner that has sucked nearly 30,000 tons of physical metal out of the West since 2008. According to her analysis, this gold hasn't just gone to the central bank. It has been absorbed by the entire nation. It is in the private sector. It is in the jewelry market. It is in the commercial banks. It is a people's reserve that rivals the entire gold holdings of the rest of the world combined. The analyst is the modern detective in this mystery. But to understand why she is unsettled by what she sees, we have to introduce a second character, a man who has been dead for 300 years. His name was the Kangxi Emperor. In the late 1600s, the Kangxi Emperor ruled the Qing dynasty. He was the most powerful man on earth. And he had a problem. The Europeans, specifically the British and the Spanish, were obsessed with Chinese goods. They wanted tea, they wanted porcelain, they wanted silk. But the emperor didn't want anything they had. He didn't want their wool. He didn't want their wine. He didn't want their clocks. He only wanted one thing, silver. So a trade imbalance began that would change the world. For 200 years, the Spanish mined silver in Potosí, in modern-day Bolivia. They loaded it onto massive ships called the Manila galleons. They sailed across the Pacific, docked in China, and handed it over. Historians call this the silver sink. China was a black hole for precious metal. It flowed in, and it never flowed out. The West was emptying its treasury just to buy nice things, while the East was quietly accumulating the only asset that mattered. The analyst believes we are watching the sequel to this movie. But today, the ships are not wooden galleons. They are armored Boeing 747s. And the metal is not silver, it is gold. Here is how the modern Shanghai Express works. It is a loop that is almost addictive in its efficiency. The United States prints dollars. We use those dollars to buy Chinese electronics, Chinese batteries, and Chinese solar panels. We get the goods, they get the paper. In a normal world, China would take those dollars and buy US Treasury bonds. That is how the game was played for 50 years. But the Kangxi Emperor's ghost has returned. China no longer wants the wool and wine of US debt. They want the metal. So they take those trade surplus dollars and they go to Switzerland. This is the mechanism the analyst tracks with obsessive detail. The Swiss refineries in Ticino are the busiest in the world. They take the massive 400-ounce good delivery bars from London, the bricks of the Western banking system, and they melt them down. They strip away the bank logos, they erase the history, and they recast them into 1 kilogram bars. Why 1 kilogram? Because that is the standard size for the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The moment that bar is recast, it effectively vanishes from the Western financial system. It is no longer a financial asset listed on a London balance sheet. It is now a piece of merchandise. It is loaded onto a plane, flown to Shanghai, and distributed into the economy. And just like the silver of the 17th century, once it crosses that border, it never comes back. Now, you might ask, why? Is this an attack? Is this a villainous plot to destroy the dollar? No, it is something much more human. It is trauma. China remembers how the silver sink story ended. Eventually, the West ran out of silver. They couldn't afford the tea anymore. So the British Empire decided to trade something else. They started smuggling opium into China to force the silver back out. It led to the Opium Wars, the collapse of the Qing dynasty, and what China calls the century of humiliation. The strategists in Beijing today are students of history. They know that relying on a foreign currency is a death sentence. When the West froze Russia's dollar reserves in 2022, it confirmed their deepest historical fear. The paper in your pocket is not yours. It belongs to the man who printed it. So they are doing exactly what the Kangxi Emperor did. They are selling us the tea, or in this case, the EVs, and they are demanding the rock. The analyst sits in the softly lit study of her yacht, watching the graph go up. She sees the 30,000 tons accumulated across the Chinese economy. She sees the vaults in London getting lighter. She sees the vaults in Shanghai getting heavier. She knows that eventually, the silver sink overflows. The mystery isn't what happens next. We have a history book that tells us exactly what happens next. The mystery is why the West, distracted by its paper markets and digital derivatives, has forgotten the ending of the story. The West is playing checkers. The analyst is watching China play 4D chess with a 300-year-old rulebook. And the rule is simple. When the music stops, the one with the gold makes the rules. The one with the paper just has paper.